We have a 2003 Mini Cooper. You may have seen this Mini Cooper in another video. If so, there'll be a link to it up in the cards. And we have a customer complaint of no AC. Now, I was teaching Bob about a Volkswagen AC system the other day, and what I told him is that you have to apply what you know to cars that you don't know. And the number one thing we know is if it has a clutch, the clutch needs to be spinning when the AC system's on. So let's look at that. Snowflake means AC is on. Got it there. Fan's on full blast. Temperature's all the way down to 64, 62, all the way to low, and recirculate on. Okay, I'm trying to get some light down there, but I think you can see that AC compressor is not spinning. Yeah, that's a pretty good view of it. We'll just shove this camera underneath the car. Maybe you can see it that way too. Definitely not spinning. Okay, so obviously when our compressor clutch is not coming on, we want to check that there's voltage to the compressor clutch to turn it on. Now, unfortunately on this Mini Cooper, it plugs in on the top and there is absolutely no way to access that connector to back probe it or unplug it and jump voltage to it or anything like that. I think this wire right here is the AC clutch wire, but I don't really want to pierce the wire if I don't have to. So what I'm going to do is take a look at the schematic and see if I can diagnose this from the AC computer or the relay or something like that. Okay, the search for diagnostic information is always fun. This is the schematic for a manual AC circuit. And this is the schematic. These two pages are for an automatic circuit with a dual fan system. A dual fan comes on at low speed at certain temperatures and at a fast speed at higher temperatures for the radiator. And then these two schematics are for automatic AC system with a single stage fan. Now the good thing about it is I know that this car is a dual speed fan system because I've already repaired that. It was overheating before, and we fixed that already. So I'm throwing that away. So we either have this system with a manual AC system or this system with an automatic AC system. But they are very similar in nature, with the AC compressor controlled by this relay, AC compressor controlled by this relay, and the relay controlled by the DME, which is the engine computer. Same on this one. DME is pictured over here on this one though. But very similar system, AC compressor controlled by a relay, controlled by a computer. Now the second page on this is mostly AC system stuff that's under the dash. So I don't think we'll need to worry about that at this point. This does show a heating and AC control computer, but I think we're more concerned, since the AC clutch isn't coming on, with this relay turning on the AC clutch, which is turned on by the engine computer. So we need to find this relay, and that says it's in the fuse holder left side of engine compartment on this schematic. Same thing on this schematic. Here is our fuse holder. And we're in luck. It shows a snowflake right there. So that will be the AC relay, I hope. Okay, so these have some numbers on them. They look identical, but this number is different from this one. This number is different from that one. But I think we can swap these out and see if the relay's bad. You guys can do that as a do-it-yourselfer, but I'm going to test it to see if it's okay. A relay is a device used so that the car can use a low amperage circuit to control a higher amperage circuit. And obviously the AC clutch is doing mechanical work. It's actually pulling a clutch forward. And the load on that clutch changes based on how much pressure's in the Freon system, so it may have a high load on it, which may use some amperage, and so it needs a relay to control that amperage, because they don't want a computer controlling a large amperage like that. They just have the computer control a little bit of amperage on the control circuit of the relay, and the relay takes the load of the large amperage. So I'm going to pull this out, and this seems to be a 5-prong relay. And the way relays work is there is a control side, and this is a Bosch standard here. These two that are parallel are almost always the control side, and these two that are not parallel with each other are the load side. The one in the middle I always call the fifth one, and sometimes they're used, sometimes they're not. Based on quick memory, I don't think this one's used. The fifth prong is used based on the schematic. There's only 4 of the prongs used. So we can ignore that fifth one for now. Okay, well, I have this Lyle kit here for testing relays. Shouldn't say for testing relays. It doesn't really test the relay. It allows you to diagnose the car, and you slide that in place and put the relay in place. And then we'll start the car and turn the AC on. Okay, I got my scope on a rope here, and with this device here, you touch these, and you can tell what's going on with the relay. And that one's off, and these 4 are on. So let's go look at our schematic. Okay, since our 2 schematics are very similar, I'm just going to use this one for now. And we have a 5-prong relay, but this only shows 4, so that 5th prong isn't used. And we have 12 volts on 4 of the prongs. So I, of course, would assume this fuse here has 12 volts, and this fuse has 12 volts. And if the relay is on, then this will be closed. By the way, the 5th prong would be here, usually. And this would be closed, and this would have 12 volts. Some of the 5th prongs on the relays are right here, and they connect when the relay is on. So it's something like that. And so this one, if the computer is turning this wire on, it will be at 0 volts. That means it's grounding it. So 12 volts here, and a good relay coil here, and a ground here makes amperage flow. That makes a magnetic field. That pulls the relay on to give voltage to the compressor. We're going to walk back over to the car, and we're going to assume the one that is not lit is this one, and our relay is turned on. And we will confirm that by turning the AC off and then grounding this on and off in order to energize the relay, and we'll see that action by that having 12 volts. That was clear as mud. Once again, we have no voltage on that one, which that makes me assume that's the ground to the computer, and we have voltage on these 4. And so, Bob, if you could turn the AC off. And you can stay in the car. Let me know when it's off. Okay, so now the relay he's turned the AC off, and these 2 prongs are no longer lighting the test light. These 2 are, I assume so I assume these 2 are the fuse, and this is one of these 2 is the output of the relay, or maybe both of them are if that 5th prong turns on when the relay turns on. So can you turn the AC on? It took a while, but AC did come on. Turn it off. Turn it on. This is computer controlled, and literally he's turning on the AC, and that inputs to the AC computer, and then that shares that signal with the engine computer, probably through a data bus network, and then so that's why it takes a little while for it to turn on. But obviously this relay is working, Turn it off. You hear the fans coming on there. Okay, so I've grabbed that alligator clip lead, and I'm going to hook that to the ground of the battery. And if you could touch that prong in the middle. And I'm going to ground the lead that I assume is the computer control. And you can see there the light comes on. And you might be able to hear the click, but I can definitely hear the click. That relay is working. Go ahead and switch it to that one closer. Yeah. So on this one, the fifth prong does turn on with the output of the cylinder of the relay. Some of them, the fifth prong works in bursts of the output of the relay. So switch it back to the other one. And so this relay is clearly working. And we can also, can you go turn it back on a few times? And we can also confirm that the computer is turning it on. And wait just a second, he just turned it on. Hopefully it'll still come on. Although we might have triggered trouble code. There it goes. So we've confirmed that the relay is turning on. One of these two is the output to the AC clutch. So unfortunately it looks like computer is turning it on. Relay is working. Unfortunately we're probably going to have to go down there and back probe. Pierce the wire in order to confirm that the voltage is making it down to the AC clutch. Okay, we have opened up that wire and pierced it, and hopefully we have a good connection there. But Bob, if you could go ahead and touch that. You see there we do have voltage going to the compressor, so that means we probably have a bad AC clutch. I wish we could reach the connector 100% in order to know that for sure, but at this point we're probably going to have to pull the front end of the car off to do any more testing. We do keep the AC clutch in stock here, and we'll attempt to repair with an AC clutch. Obviously if the compressor is seized up or something along those lines, it wouldn't be a good candidate for repair, but I do keep this AC clutch in stock here, so we can sell you one of those if you need one. Whether or not the compressor needs to be replaced is your decision. So if you want to replace the clutch or attempt to replace the clutch, you probably need to check that the compressor isn't seized up, and obviously this one is not. It turns just fine. And but whether or not you need a compressor or you need a clutch, you're going to have to determine that yourself. There's no easy way to know that without the clutch working. Here's the label off the AC compressor. Here is the AC clutch that we keep in stock, and this reminds me, I did not check the ground on the AC clutch. See the second wire there is hooked to the body of this, and this grounds off the body of the AC compressor. So let's check the ground real quick. As I'm editing this video, it's becoming way too long, and so I'm going to have to break it up into two videos. If you like this video, you learned something from it, then be sure to click the like button. If you want to buy the part to fix the AC in this car, be sure and visit my website at www.kansascitytdi.com, and you can buy the part there in the section titled Mini Cooper Parts. And if you want to donate to the continued production of these videos, you can find the donate icon on that as well. And if you want to watch some more of my videos, you can find more right there, more right there, and don't forget to subscribe right there. Thanks for watching.